Okay, stop what you're doing for a second because I want to ask you something. And I want you to answer honestly, not to me, just to yourself. This morning, what did you drink? Was it water, coffee, maybe a glass of orange juice because it felt like the healthy choice? Maybe a fruit smoothie because you've been trying to do better. Maybe a cold pressed juice from the farmer's market because it was expensive enough to feel virtuous. Here's what I want you to consider some of those choices that feel like they're the healthy option, that feel like you're taking care of yourself, that feel like a good start to the day, are doing something in your body that you probably have no idea about. Something that is directly connected to why you feel hungry again an hour later, why the cravings hit at 4 p.m., why the energy dips, why the weight is not moving the way you want it to. And today, in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what that something is. And I promise, once you know it, you cannot unknow it, and it'll completely change how you look at what's in your glass. And that is just one of the five things we're covering today. And every single one of them is small, free, or close to it, and something you can start today. Welcome to episode 2 of my low hanging fruit series. Let's go. Now, before we get into it, I want to personally welcome you to my podcast. I'm Vera Brown, weight loss, health, and fitness coach for women 40 and above who want to lose weight and transform their health naturally and sustainably. After struggling with my weight and health for decades in the corporate world and as an entrepreneur, I lost more than 100 pounds in my mid 40s and have kept it off. No pills, no injections, no procedures, no extremes, no tracking. In my podcast, I share what worked for me, including actionable strategies. I discuss fitness, nutrition, sleep, stress, and mindset to help you achieve your weight loss and health transformation goals. Join me. Now, let's get into it. If this is your first time here, you've landed on a fantastic episode that will give you some quick wins. Promised. This is episode 2 of my low hanging fruit series, and I want to encourage you to go back and listen to episode 1 as well. I'll link it in the show notes. You don't need to do that today, but the two episodes work beautifully together, and the context makes everything land even more powerfully. Now, last week, we talked about what low hanging fruit actually are, what that concept means, the quick wins, the easy wins, the things close enough to the ground that you don't need a ladder to reach them. And we talked about why small, consistent, doable changes are actually the thing that creates lasting health transformation. Not the dramatic overhaul, not the intense program, the small things done consistently. Today, I want to offer you 5 more quick win suggestions for you to consider as you move forward with your weight loss and health transformation. One suggestion for each of the 5 pillars of true lasting health: nutrition, movement, sleep, stress management, and mindset. But before we get into them, I want to address something head on because I know what some of you are thinking. You may be sitting here thinking, Vera, I've tried quick wins before. I've tried the easy tips, I've done the 10-day challenges and the starter plans and the just do this one thing advice. It never leads anywhere. So, why is this different? And that is such a fair question, genuinely. And I want to answer it properly because here is the thing: a quick win and a quick fix are not the same thing. Not even close. And the diet and wellness industry has done such a brilliant job of blurring that line that most of us don't even realize that they're two completely different things. A quick fix is a promise. It's lose 10 pounds in 10 days. It's do this 30-day challenge and transform your body. It's cut out this one thing and watch the weight fall off. And the dirty secret of quick fixes is that the drama is the point. Because drama sells, before and after photos sell, extreme transformations in short time frames sell. But what quick fixes almost never deliver is sustainability, because the approach that gets you dramatic, fast results is almost always an approach that requires you to live in a way that is completely unsustainable long term. And I know this firsthand, not from reading about it, but from living it. I want to share with you something. Years ago, during a period when I was vegan, and genuinely committed to transforming my health, I did a raw food diet. Everything raw. Uncooked fruit, vegetables, nuts, seeds. And the logic made sense to me at the time. More enzymes, more nutrients, less processed, all the good things I thought. And I committed to it fully. I meal prepped, I researched recipes, I bought things at the market I'd never heard of before. I was all in. And honestly, the first few days I felt great, righteous even. I was doing the hard thing that would completely transform my health. And then real life arrived, a work event with colleagues, and then a family dinner, and then a day when I was exhausted. And the last thing I had energy for was soaking cashews overnight to make a raw cheese. And one by one, the cracks appeared. And within 2 weeks, the whole thing had collapsed for me. Not because I wasn't committed, but because the rules were completely incompatible with my actual daily existence. And here's the thing about that experience that I think is so important: the raw food diet didn't fail because the nutritional logic was wrong. Some of it was genuinely sound. Instead, it failed because it was somebody else's rules applied wholesale to my specific, complicated, unpredictable real life. And there was no room in it for me being human. And every time a quick fix program like that collapses, as they almost always do, your brain files it as evidence. Not that the program failed you, that you failed, that you can't stick to things, that you don't have what it takes. And that is the real damage of these quick fix programs. Not the regained weight, but the eroded belief in yourself. Now, in contrast, a quick win, and what I'm offering you today is a quick win, 5 quick wins actually. A quick win is something completely different. A quick win is a small, achievable action that does two specific things. One is it gives you evidence that you can do this, evidence that your body responds, evidence that change is possible. And second, it builds momentum, because momentum doesn't come from one dramatic action. It comes from small, consistent things stacking on top of each other until one day you look back and realize everything has quietly, genuinely changed. That's what we're building here. Not a program, not rules, small, sustainable health transformation. Now let's get into it. Here are my 5 quick wins for you to consider today. Pillar number 1: nutrition. And this week, I want to introduce you to a concept I genuinely wish somebody had explained to me years ago. Because once you understand this, once it really clicks, you will never look at what's in your glass the same way again. And the concept is called free sugar. And the opposite of free sugar is, and I love this term, it's called intrinsic sugar. Or so my unofficial name for it is clothed sugar. Now, let me explain, because this is one of those things that sounds simple and then turns out to be genuinely mind bending. Sugar exists in nature in two completely different forms. The first is sugar that is locked in the cellular structure of a whole food, encased, protected, wrapped up in fiber and cell walls and everything else that naturally belongs in that food. That is intrinsic sugar, what I'm calling clothed sugar. And the best example of this is a whole apple. An apple contains fructose, the naturally occurring sugar in fruit. But in a whole apple, the fructose is bound up inside the fiber matrix. Your body has to physically break down the fiber to get to it, which means that when the sugar is released from that apple, when you eat it, it is released slowly. Your own body's blood sugar rises gently. You feel full because you ate an actual apple with actual volume and actual fiber. Perfect. Now, the second form of sugar is sugar that has been fundamentally separated from its natural structure, liberated from its casing. And that is what the World Health Organization calls free sugar. And here's where it gets surprising. Free sugar is not just the white table sugar you put in your tea. Free sugar includes honey, includes maple syrup, and agave. And are you ready for this one? Free sugar also includes the sugar in all fruit juice. Yes, including the freshly squeezed. Yes, including the one you make at home with actual real oranges. Yes, including the expensive cold pressed fruit juice from the farmer's market. Now, let's take a moment here. Does that surprise you? Because it certainly surprised me a lot. And here's why it matters. Think about how many oranges go into a glass of orange juice. Usually, depending on how big the glass is, 3 or 4. Now, would you sit down and eat 4 oranges back to back? Probably not. The fiber of those oranges would fill you up long before you finished 4 oranges. But drinking the juice of 4 oranges, I mean, let's be honest, that takes what, 30 seconds? And all that fructose, now free sugar, because it's separated from its fiber, hits your bloodstream fast. And your blood sugar spikes. Your body responds with insulin and then it crashes. And that spike and crash cycle is one of the most reliable ways to generate cravings, energy dips, and hunger that comes back far too soon. And here is the number that genuinely stopped me in my tracks when I was doing some of my homework for this episode. A 350 milliliter glass of apple juice, just apple juice, no added sugar, totally natural apple juice, contains roughly the same amount of sugar as a can of Coca Cola. Not similar, the same. Now, let that land for a moment. I mean, really, apple juice. Do you know what I mean? The thing that we give children as a healthy alternative to soft drinks. And it actually has comparable sugar content to a Coke. Now, listen, I am absolutely not saying that orange juice and apple juice and Coca Cola are the same thing nutritionally. They're not. You know that, and I know that too. There are vitamins and other compounds in real fruit juice that you won't find in a cola. And a small glass, around 150 milliliters of fruit juice, is fine. It does have nutritional value, but most of us are not drinking 150 milliliters. We're drinking a large glass on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning. And we're doing it because we genuinely think it's healthy and we're calling it a healthy habit. And here is what I want you to really hear. If you've been starting your mornings with a glass of juice, and wondering why you're ravenous or craving something sweet by mid morning, this might just be a significant part of the reason. Because the free sugar hit at breakfast is setting off a blood sugar roller coaster that your body then spends the rest of the morning trying to recover from. So, what is the low hanging fruit here? What is my suggestion? Simple. Pick one drink in your current daily routine that contains free sugar and swap it for the whole food version. So, the most common ones to look at are things like orange juice, apple juice, any fruit juice, smoothies, cold pressed juice blends. They're all free sugar in a glass. And the swap is actually quite a simple one. Eat the orange instead of drinking it, eat the apple. Or if you love the ritual of something bright and liquid in the morning, water with a slice of lemon or a cucumber gives you the feeling without the blood sugar spike. And you're not losing nutrients. You're actually gaining them when you make the swap into the whole fruit because whole fruit gives you more fiber, more phytonutrients, and the sugar comes served in the packaging it was actually designed to come in. Clothed sugar, intrinsic sugar, not free. So, just one drink, swap it for the real fruit. That's the ask. Find yours, make the swap, but pay attention to whether your morning energy feels different within a week because, in my experience, often it does. And now I want to pause here for a moment because this connection between blood sugar and craving is something I think a lot about. And if cravings are a challenge for you, if the blood sugar crash at 11 a.m., or the overwhelming urge for something sweet at 4 p.m., or the post dinner fridge raid when you just want something, anything. If any of that feels really familiar, I want you to know that I hear you. You are not alone. And I'm working on something specifically designed to help with this. A tool to help you not only understand, but manage cravings in real time. It's not ready just yet, but the waitlist is open. The link is in the show notes. Join it, and you'll be the first to know when it launches because this free sugar conversation is just one piece of a much bigger cravings picture. And I want you to have the full picture. Now, let's move on to pillar number two, movement. Last week, we talked about walking more. And I debunked the 10,000 steps myth, which, by the way, we now know came from a catchy corporate pedometer marketing campaign in the 1960s, not from actual science. If that surprised you, you're welcome. It surprised me too when I first learned it years ago. Now, this week's movement, low hanging fruit, is about something different. Something that sometimes gets ignored, particularly by us women, because it doesn't look or feel like so called proper exercise, because you may not be sweating and you may not be out of breath when you're doing it. And I'm talking about body weight strength training, specifically starting with just one body weight exercise. And before you skip ahead, stay with me because I want to tell you how I got here. For years, most of my adult life, honestly, I had this very specific idea in my head about lower body strength training. In my mind, it required a gym, you know, a proper gym with weight machines and specific of the kind where you sit down and you strap in and you load up the plates and you push or press against actual heavy metal. The kind where you hear the metal clanking, the kind where you wait your turn. And that was the picture I had. And if you didn't have access to that way of strength training, you weren't really doing it, which meant that all those in between moments of daily life, the 20 minutes between appointments, the quick window before a meeting, the morning when the gym bag was still packed from 3 days ago, but I never quite got to the gym, it meant that those moments did not count. They could not count because the gym was not accessible. And then at some point, I started doing body weight only air squats. If I'm honest, not because I thought they were particularly effective at the time. Honestly, I thought they were probably better than nothing, but not by much. Because there's no metal, there's no extra weight, no machine, just my own body weight. Standing in my bedroom or in my lounge or even in the parking lot waiting for an appointment or wherever I was. And doing body weight only air squats felt almost embarrassingly low tech. And then one day, I did 50 of them in a row just to see what would happen. And by rep 30, I was feeling a genuine burn in my glutes and quads that I hadn't expected at all. And by rep 40, I was getting a little sweaty. And by rep 50, I understood that I had been completely wrong about what body weight squats could do. Does that surprise you? Because it certainly surprised me. And at that point, I'd been taking my exercise more seriously for quite a few months. And here's why body weight only air squats are the low hanging fruit that I am recommending for this pillar this week because they work the largest muscle group in your body, your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, all in one movement. No equipment, no gym, no special outfit. And those large muscles are metabolically significant. Building and maintaining them supports your metabolism, helps your body process glucose more efficiently, actually protects your knees and lower back, and directly counteracts one of the most common physical changes of midlife the gradual loss of lower body strength that affects posture, mobility, and energy. So, what's the specific ask? Here's what I want you to do tomorrow or today, at some point during your day, do 3 sets of 10 bodyweight only air squats. That's 30 squats total. Just 4 minutes. If a full squat isn't comfortable yet, if you're dealing with knee issues, partial squats are absolutely fine. You can also use a chair if you want to hang on to or a wall to sort of keep you steady. Go to whatever depth feels manageable. And if you feel up for it, go harder and do all 30 reps in a row. Maybe even 50 reps in a row, maybe 100. There is no wrong version. The win here is doing it at all. And here is what will happen if you do this consistently. Slowly, you'll be able to go a little bit lower in those squats. The movement will feel a little bit easier. Your legs will feel stronger on the stairs. And one day you'll find yourself doing 100 bodyweight air squats in a row and genuinely surprising yourself. And that progression, that noticing, is what momentum actually feels like. Not dramatic, just evidence accumulating. So, 3 sets of 10 at some point today or tomorrow instead of scrolling on your phone for 5 minutes. And no judgment here. We all do it. That is the ask. Let's move on to pillar number 3 sleep. Now, last week, for the low hanging fruit suggestion for the pillar of sleep, I asked you to go to bed 15 minutes earlier. And I know some of you did it and noticed a difference, and well done. And I know some of you thought about doing it and then found yourself at midnight still on your phone. I see you. I have been you. No judgment. Some days I am still you. So, no judgment, no shame. But this week's sleep pillar low hanging fruit hopefully gets you before going to bed earlier before any of that. So we're going back one step further. And my suggestion this week is called a phone sunset. What is a phone sunset? Well, it's simply this choosing a time in the evening when your phone goes face down, silent, ideally out of the room you're in. Not for the entire evening, just from a specific point in the evening, ideally 30 minutes to maybe even an hour before you want to be asleep until the next morning. Now, I know the immediate response that I might get from some of you. But Vera, my phone is my alarm. We'll come to that. And frankly, old fashioned alarm clocks exist and they cost about $5 to $10. That's what I've done for a few years now. It works, solved problem, job done. The more important question is why? Why does this matter for your sleep? And why does your sleep matter for your weight? So, let me give you the science first because I think it genuinely changes how you feel about this. Research consistently shows that using your phone in the hour before bed significantly disrupts sleep quality, and not just because of the blue light, although that is real. The light emitted from screens suppresses melatonin production, your sleep hormone, signaling your brain that it is still daytime. But the bigger issue here is that actually the cognitive and emotional stimulation. In one study, participants used their phones in bed had measurably longer sleep onset, meaning it took significantly longer to fall asleep. And they also reported worse sleep quality overall. And other research has shown that evening social media use specifically keeps cortisol, your stress hormone, elevated for up to an hour after you put the phone down. Because that's the thing with social media. Your body is still processing the comparison, the outrage, the FOMO, the low level anxiety that social media generates long after the screen is dark. And here is the weight loss connection that most people never make. The evenings are when many of us are the most vulnerable to emotional eating. The day's stress has accumulated, the willpower is depleted, the phone is generating comparison and uncomfortable feelings. And suddenly, you're in the kitchen reaching for something, not because you're physically hungry, but because you need to soothe something. And what you're reaching for is almost never something healthy. And okay, a phone sunset doesn't magically fix all of that, but it can help remove the trigger. It creates a window, even just 20 minutes, where your nervous system is not being stimulated, compared, or emotionally activated. And in that window, real rest can begin. So that's my ask for you for the sleep pillar. Start tonight. Choose your time, even just 30 minutes before you want to be asleep. Put the phone down, read, stretch, sit quietly, have a bath, anything that is not a screen, and see what happens to your sleep and your mornings within a week. Now, let's move on to pillar number 4, stress management. Last week, we talked about meditation. And this week, I want to give you something else to consider, something that costs nothing. It takes 10 minutes, and that I genuinely believe is one of the most underrated health habits available to any of us. And here is the suggestion: get 10 minutes of natural light first thing in the morning. Now, before your eyes glaze over, let me tell you why this is genuinely interesting because the mechanism here is not obvious. And once you understand it, this stops being a vague wellness suggestion. It starts being something you actually want to do. Your body runs on an internal 24-hour clock called your circadian rhythm. It governs everything: your sleep wake cycle, your metabolism, your hormone production, your mood, your cortisol levels, even how effectively you burn fat. And the most powerful signal that sets and resets this clock every single day is light, specifically natural light hitting your eyes in the morning within the first hour of waking. When that signal arrives, your brain knows it is daytime. It is time to be awake and energized. And it helps trigger your cortisol awakening response, which is the healthy morning cortisol spike that gives you natural energy without caffeine. It begins suppressing melatonin appropriately for the daytime. It boosts serotonin production and it sets the clock for the rest of the day, including telling your body when it will be time to wind down for sleep later. And the research on this is solid. Studies show that people who get morning natural light exposure have more stable energy throughout the day, better mood, lower baseline cortisol over time, and measurably better sleep quality at night. Because a well calibrated morning clock means your body knows when it's time to be sleepy too. And here's the thing that surprises people: you do not need sunshine for this to work. Even on a completely gray, overcast day, outdoor natural light is significantly brighter than indoor lighting, often 10 to 50 times brighter. So, stepping outside for 10 minutes on a cloudy morning still works. The light signal is still there. Now, here's my personal version of this. I'm lucky I currently live in a rural area with beautiful walks on my doorstep. But I spent years living in busy urban cities too. And the principle exactly the same. You don't need countryside, you don't need anything specific. You just need to be outside. A doorstep, a balcony, a walk to a coffee shop, standing at an open window, any of it counts as long as you're actually exposing your eyes to outdoor light rather than indoor artificial light. My morning ritual is 10 minutes outside before I look at my phone. No screen, just the morning. And I notice the difference in the days I skip it. Something is slightly more reactive, slightly more effortful. And the days I do the morning light, something is more settled before the day has even really started. So try tomorrow, just 10 minutes outside, first thing, and see how the rest of your morning feels. That's the ask. Now, let's move on to the last pillar. Pillar number 5: mindset and motivation. Now, last week, I gave you a bit of a gift. I told you that just by listening to that episode, you'd already done your mindset low hanging fruit. But we all know that was a one time trick, and I told you so at the time. So today, I'm giving you something else to consider. This week's mindset low hanging fruit is this: write down one reason why your health matters to you that has nothing to do with how you look. Not something general like, I want to lose weight. Not, I want to fit into my old jeans. Not, I want to look good for my holiday or my reunion or anyone's wedding. I want you to go deeper on this. Something that connects to the life you want to live rather than just the visual representation of the body you want to have. And just to get the ball rolling, let me tell you one of mine because I think it might resonate. One of my deepest whys, one of the ones that genuinely gets me out of bed when motivation is nowhere to be found, is this: I want to travel into my 70s and 80s and beyond, and I want to see the world. I want to be fit and active enough to walk through ancient cities, to hike in mountains, to explore places I have not been yet on my own terms, not shuffling slowly behind a tour group, not watching someone else climb the hill I want to climb, not needing a rest after a moderate walk, but actually doing it, moving through the world with capability and energy and joy. Now, that is just one of my many whys. It's not a number on a scale, it's not a dress size, it's adventures in my old age. And when I connect to that, when I really feel it, the healthy choices are not sacrifices. Instead, they're investments. Every squat, every good night's sleep, every whole food choice, every morning outside, those are deposits into the account that funds the adventures. Now, what's yours? Maybe it's playing properly with your grandchildren. Maybe it's a trail you've been wanting to hike for years. Maybe it's finally feeling like yourself again, energized, capable, present. Maybe it's being independent and strong well into old age. Maybe it's something you have never said out loud to anyone. Whatever it is, write it down. One sentence on a paper, in your phone, on a post in your bathroom mirror, wherever you want, but somewhere where you will actually see it on the difficult days. Because here's what I've learned, and it is central to everything I believe about sustainable health transformation. The women who succeed long term are almost never the ones most motivated by how they look. Instead, they are the women with a deep, personal, genuine why that connects to how they want to live, not just how they want to appear. Because here's what I've learned firsthand: appearance based motivation works until it doesn't. Usually, around a few weeks in, when the discomfort is real and the results are not yet visible. But a why that is rooted in the life you want to live, that holds you through those storms. Now, I have a free meditation in the show notes that takes you exactly through this process, a guided visualization to help you connect with the woman you want to be in 20 years from now. Not a dress size, but a life, a feeling, an identity. And it was made exactly for this moment, for when motivation wavers and when you need to reconnect with the real reason you started your health transformation. But for today, that is my ask of you. Just one sentence, one real why, written down right now if you can. Don't wait. Okay, now let's bring it all home. Today we had the 5 pillars and the 5 low-hanging fruit. 5 new low-hanging fruit to help support your weight loss and health transformation goals. Here's your recap. Nutrition. Find one free sugar drink in your day, juice, smoothie, cold pressed, whatever, and swap it for the whole food version instead. Think clothed sugar, not free. Your blood sugar and cravings will both thank you. Movement pillar. 10 sets, oh, or 10 sets if you want, 3 sets of 10 body weight only air squats. Today, tomorrow, body weight, no gym, no equipment, just 4 minutes, just start. Sleep pillar. Try a phone sunset tonight. Choose your time, put your phone down, and give your nervous system the 30 minutes it needs to actually wind down before you go to bed. Stress management. 10 minutes of morning natural light outside, first thing in the morning, before the phone, every single day. Mindset. Write down one sentence, your real why, written down somewhere where you'll actually see it. And as always, with my low hanging fruit series, you don't have to do all 5. Pick one, just one, the one that feels most achievable when I was talking about it. Try for a week. Let it become yours. See if it fits your life, and then come back for another. Because here is what I want you to really hear before I let you go. I lost over 100 pounds in midlife over 2.5 years, naturally and sustainably. And it was not one dramatic decision. It was not one program that changed everything. It was this, exactly this. Small things done consistently, one standard at a time, stacked on top of another, until the day I looked up and I realized that my whole life had quietly and completely changed. And I want that for you. Not the dramatic movie version, but the real one, the one that lasts. You are not starting over, you are starting right now with one small thing, and that is enough. It has always been enough. You've got this. I am so proud of you, and I'm cheering you on every single step of the way. And I will see you in the very next episode. Now, before I go, 2 things. First, if cravings are something you genuinely struggle with in your health journey, you are absolutely not alone. And that is why I'm building something specifically to help those cravings. a tool designed to help you not only understand, but also manage cravings in real time in those moments when they feel overwhelming. The waitlist is open and the link is in the show notes. Join it and you'll be the first to know when it launches. I am genuinely excited about this one. Now, second, if today's episode helped you, please share it with one woman in your life who's stuck right now. You might just change her direction. If you have a few minutes, a review on Apple Podcasts helps more women find the show. I would love it if you'd take a couple of minutes just to do a review there. And don't forget everything I mentioned in today's episode, the free meditation, free nutrition guide, the cravings wait list, and of course my coaching is all in the show notes. Take care of yourself. You deserve it. And thank you for joining me for today's episode. If you want more real, honest guidance on losing weight and transforming your health sustainably in midlife, you are in the right place. Subscribe here and get my strategies, mindset shifts, and the tools that actually work for women 40 and above. No BS, no quick fixes, just real transformation. Don't forget, you deserve to feel good in your body and life. I believe in you and I'm cheering you on. Have an amazing day. For the obligatory legal disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, nutritionist, therapist, medical professional, or similar. All information shared on this podcast is purely for informational purposes and does not constitute medical advice. It is entirely your personal choice and responsibility as to what information you use. Please consult your own medical professional for any medical advice.